What's good, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Hurls and Small Show, the final episode of the NFL season, coming to you guys after the Super Bowl. Not so fun Super Bowl to watch, depending on who you were rooting for. But Smalls, how was your Super Bowl weekend? How you doing?
I was watching the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I keep looking, and I'm like, damn. Lamar Jackson hasn't scored yet this game. What's going on? He must be having a slower game than usual.
Yeah,
And the
it is
game
the
ends,
playoffs, so that makes sense.
Well, that just wasn't very nice, now was it?
My apologies. Continue.
But the Super Bowl was cool, Super Bowl is always fun, especially when it's a team like this that hasn't won before. Like, the Eagles won, but the whole team was pretty much different. So you're seeing all these guys fulfill their lifelong dream and all of the emotions and the reactions to stuff. And
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni getting the Gatorade dumped on him when people were saying he was a bad coach, and we made at least two, because I had a bold prediction and you had an overreaction on him that he wasn't going to be there at the end of the season, and here we are. So shouts out to him, I guess.
Absolutely.
How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I told you earlier before we started, I have a headache. I've had this headache all day. These past couple of days, I've been getting off of work so much later than usual. Like, I have not seen a day where I've gotten off of work before midnight in the past week and a half or so. It's been terrible. I don't know what's going on, but I just can't get out of work on time. But Super Bowl weekend was pretty fun. I was like all over the place because it was my mom's birthday yesterday. So we started the day going out to Cheesecake Factory for my mom's. Then after my mom's dinner, I went to my friend's to celebrate his birthday because his mom was doing a little surprise thing for him. Stayed over there, went to my brother's because I usually watch Super Bowl with my brother. So I was at my brother's till like 11:30. Then after 11:30, after I left my brother's, I went back to that friend's house because then it was actually turning his birthday. So, I was there for when it actually, hit 12 and was there for his birthday. So I was all over the place and out all day yesterday watching the Super Bowl. So I missed a lot of the halftime show. I had to go back and watch it, like, because my brother recorded it. So I just went back and watched it like that. I didn't really see much of it in real time. But other than that, the game it wasn't a great game. But like you said, just like the Eagles, like I didn't like either team. But just seeing them celebrate and win just took away all the hate or dislike I had for the team. Seeing the two receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, pour the Gatorade on Nick Sirianni, like you said. Jalen Hurts, a guy who I've been critical of, he went out there and balled, and I was just happy to see him win, smoking his cigars. I seen clips of him at Disney World today. So just shit like that. It was just, like once they won, I really couldn't care less about all the beef that the Niners and Eagles have. I really was just happy to see them win. So yeah, shout out to the Eagles. Chiefs, you guys will be back.
I'm surprised we didn't get anything after the game about Travis at all. Like, I didn't expect there to be much, but I didn't see like anything about him other than the CJ Gardner-Johnson bullshit, but he bogus as hell.
I told you. I just don't rock with C. Like, that's what I mean. Like, there's players on the Eagles I love, but the Eagles as a whole, I just don't rock with them. And CJ is one of the reasons why I just don't. Because that was just crazy. I thought it was fake when I first saw like a tweet about him posting that. I literally thought it was fake. But hey. But yeah, man, you talk about Travis Kelce's retirement and especially the way that game went. I definitely was a little bit surprised we didn't hear much about it, but I'm sure we'll hear something in the next coming days. But before we get too far into the episode, make sure you guys go down, like, comment, subscribe. Things are going to be changing, not too much, but as we get into the off season, obviously we'll let you guys know as those things happen. But for now, we're sticking to 2 episodes a week. Obviously, we're going to get into some free agency stuff and some draft stuff closer to the draft. But as time goes on, you guys will be informed on how, the show will be moving. But probably the last overreaction of the season, because I don't know, am I going to have free agency overreactions or draft overreactions? Probably not. So the last overreaction of the season, starting it off with one you probably expected. With this loss in the Super Bowl, you're probably going to be happy to hear this. Probably happy to hear that the world is on this side of the debate now. But the GOAT debate, it's officially over. Tom Brady is not going to be caught by Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes just These 2 Super Bowl losses, already lost to Tom Brady twice in the playoffs. He's just not going to be able to do enough to catch up to Tom Brady.
I understand the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He's closest to Tom we've seen him. I mean, it's not like Tom's been gone in a while, but he's got 3 Super Bowls already. He's only been in the league for 7 seasons. He's made the AFC Championship all 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just silly to me because it's not like Tom went out and won every single year. Yeah, he's what 3-5, 4-5. I guess.
Yeah. I was gonna say he hasn't lost 5, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So 3-2. His record is 3-2. Yeah,
He's
and
3-2.
I think
Yeah,
that's what Tom was in his first 3 as well. Or in his first 5.
Tom
Sorry,
ended
in his first 5.
Tom ended 7-3, so Pat has to go 4-1 to tie him, which probably isn't realistic. But
Mm-hmm.
who gives a damn what his record is? If he wins 5 more and he loses 5 more, and if that dude is in 15 Super Bowls and wins 8 of them, it's gonna be hard to say he's not the GOAT. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's too early. Tom Brady is my favorite quarterback of all time, and I think he's the GOAT. But I'm not. I said last episode jokingly that I would be one of the Michael Jordan guys who will always say Tom Brady's the greatest ever, but I would never be like that. If Pat Mahomes passes him, then Pat Mahomes passes him. It is what it is.
Your guy Lamar Jackson's not gonna get there.
Well,
Let's
seeing as he's
move on.
28 already and doesn't have one, but Aaron Noland, he's coming. What do you think
about Lamar Jackson?
Is this like your no, bitch? Is this your opinion or is this just like
no? I don't think it's over. I was just bringing it, but it's not my opinion. Like you said, I don't think it's over. In his first 5, Brady had the same record. The only issue I think is going to be for Mahomes is I think, and he's done a great job at that, obviously, because he's went to 7 straight AFC Championship games. He's gonna have to win them as early as possible because I just don't know if he's gonna have the longevity that Brady had to keep on getting these cracks at the Super Bowl until he's 45, like Brady did. So he may have to win those 7 in a smaller span than what Brady did. Brady had 20 years to win 7. Patrick Mahomes may have 14 years to win 7. So I think it'll just be tough. But no, I don't think the GOAT debate's over at all whatsoever. It definitely did hurt it. But I don't think it's over.
It's not like he lost to Eli Manning. The Eagles team was unbelievable.
For sure. The Eagles were just the better team, and we both picked the Eagles, and I think the Eagles just had the better roster. Like it definitely wasn't shocking whatsoever that the Eagles won. Maybe the fashion that they won was a little bit like, whoa, holy shit. But as this game got going on, it's like we probably should have seen something like this coming. Maybe not 34-0 what it was at some point, but we probably shouldn't have been shocked that the Eagles would probably win this game by double digits. Because just looking at the talent for talent, it was just the Chiefs were just outclassed.
We were saying that we'll get to the game. Go ahead.
My second and final overreaction. We were critical of him the entire season, probably even before the season, before we started this show. And I said last episode, he has been clutch. He's been in 2 Super Bowls now, and he has played out of his mind in both. When the best running back in the league gets stopped, that probably the one good thing that the Chiefs did was stop Saquon Barkley. Number 1 said, I got us. And I said on that preview episode, they're gonna go all out to stop Saquon Barkley, and they did. And I said I believed in Jalen Hurts to go out there and have himself a good game, and he had himself a great game. Jalen Hurts has stamped himself as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Take your time.
No, absolutely not. No disrespect to Jalen. He's a very good quarterback, but no. Lamar Jackson is the best. Pat Mahomes is the best in the world, and then it's Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson at 2 and 3.
You have to stop yourself from saying that. That's how it just comes out of you just naturally. Lamar Jackson, and you have to stop yourself. Like, that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But the team that, not to take anything away from Jalen, but this Eagles team from top to bottom is just an unmovable force. And we'll see next year after they lose a bunch of guys how good they still are. But He's probably top 10. I probably disrespected him too much going through the season, but
That's
I don't
fair.
think he
I
cracks
did
the
as
top
well.
5.
Okay.
I think the top 4 is 100% set in stone.
Locked.
I know you,
It'll
I know
only be
you're a
number
Justin
5.
Herbert guy. I think Sam Darnold was the top 5 quarterback this year, but obviously he's not top 5 talent.
Mm-hmm.
I I would probably put Baker at 5, to be honest.
You're a Baker guy, bro. You love Baker. The other guys I thought about was Jaden Daniels. Obviously, I know he's a rookie, but he was still phenomenal this year.
Just
He's
kind of like how you said earlier,
I
you don't
just
like to
don't
rank
like
rookies too
yeah,
high.
exactly.
He's probably 5.
Yeah. Obviously, you said I'm a Justin Herbert guy, but Justin Herbert's got to do something when it matters the most, especially with the way he went out. Who else was it? Who else would be in there?
You gotta mention Goff.
Goff, I guess so. Jordan Love on his best day is, probably in that 8-ish range, probably not cracking the top 5. CJ Stroud in his rookie year was probably sniffing that top 5. I think that's really it who Jalen Hurts is in comparison with. You may push back on this one, but Dak Prescott when he's healthy, I think is like a top 7 guy. But obviously he wasn't healthy, so he's probably not in the conversation right now. But what you did say that I don't agree with. I don't like the bringing up the team aspect when we're saying, yeah, he has a really good team. I hate that being used against the quarterback, especially because it was used against Brock Purdy a lot last season. And I don't want the same thing to be done to Jalen Hurts, especially coming from me. I'm not going to do that to him because I gave him so much flack. So much flack for how he's played in the past. I was super critical on him, and for him to come out these playoffs, play super well. We talked about it throughout the regular season too. Man, the Eagles are on this 7-game winning streak, and ever since Jalen Hurts stopped turning the ball over, they're just dominant. They can't lose, and that's what he continued to do. And in the playoffs, he was great as well. And in the Super Bowl, he played at his best. So I can't say, yeah, it was the team when Jalen Hurts is probably the first or second thing you think about when it comes to why the Eagles won that Super Bowl. It's not like Saquon Barkley rushed for 200 yards. It was Jalen Hurts leading the crew.
I once again, no disrespect to him, but I could not disagree with you anymore. Mm-hmm. That defense was 100% the reason they won this game.
As I said, I said he was probably the first or second thing you think about. Sure, if you want to take the defense as the reason they won the game, then Jalen Hurts is right behind them. Right behind them.
But I think it's saying defense as a whole is a little crazy at the same time because the defensive line you can say as a unit. Zach Bond was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Cooper DeJean was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Quinyon Mitchell, you didn't see him a single time in the whole game, and as a rookie, not having a single mistake, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, I said he's probably moved into my top 10 comfortably, and he was definitely not there in the regular season. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but these other top guys, I just don't see how many of them can't do what he did. Zach Bond gets a pick and you're on the 10-yard line. Cooper DeJean pick 6, you got 7 points already. You got one of the best kickers in all of football. He's probably not 1 or 2, but he's probably top 5.
Come on, what you were saying was good until you brought up a kicker. We're using a kicker to. So does having Justin Tucker his entire career discredit what Lamar Jackson has done? We're bringing it. Everything else you said was valid until you brought up a kicker.
I didn't bring up a kicker to invalidate anything. I was just saying you don't have to struggle. Like if once you get there, it's cool. You don't have to.
I don't like
waver.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but I just don't like the kicker point. Everything else I understood, but the kicker I can't get behind.
For what? I was just saying in this specific game, he scored like 12 points.
But the way you put it, it just made it seem like that's just another factor as to why we should think about that other than Jalen Hurts. It's like, yeah, you mentioned Zach Bond, the defensive line, their kicker. It's like it feels like you're trying to think of a bunch of different things that happened in this game or a bunch of different factors that affected the game before you try to get to Jalen Hurts. That's just the way it seemed.
I obviously did not mean to come off that way.
I know. I'm just telling you how it seemed.
When the opposing team puts up 14 points and your own kicker I think he had 4 field goals. You're in a good position there. I just think that he's the quarterback of the team, and your quarterback always gets the Super Bowl MVP if he doesn't have a shit show of a game. So everybody knew it was going to be him. But if you could give it to a unit, this defensive line, is the reason they won the game, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. But yeah, I don't think I have Jalen Hurts top 5 either. But I like you said, I think he comfortably is in the top 10. For a guy who I probably had, maybe even if he was in my top 10, he's probably in that 10 to maybe like 13 range. If he was in my top 10, he's definitely just sitting at 10, probably not any higher. But I definitely would say he's probably. I always say this with the receivers. There's like 9 in my top 7. He's probably somewhere in that top 7, 8-ish of quarterbacks. If you ask me today, if I had to make a list. So Jalen Hurts, shout outs to you for, I guess silencing your doubters, because I definitely was one of them. Shout outs to you for playing your ass off in the Super Bowl yet again, and congrats.
His story is going to be a movie one day.
Getting
Being the starter
benched.
at Alabama,
Yeah.
getting benched, transferring to Oklahoma, having 4 different offensive coordinators in 4 years, and making the Super Bowl in 2 of them. It's just kind of what's the biggest issue with the offense right now? The passing, and yet your quarterback is the reason you win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Let me throw an overreaction at you. Let me throw a bold prediction at you before we move on.
Okay. What are you predicting? Okay, I'm interested.
We see the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
When Super Bowl 60 rolls around, neither of these teams will be in it.
I think that's tough to say, obviously. But I'm gonna say like the obvious answer would say probably, because the odds are just to take the field over the two. But I'm gonna say no. I think it's gonna sound weird because they just lost, but I think the Chiefs could be back in the Super Bowl. I think both could be back in the Super Bowl, but I have to put my money on one. I think I'd put the money on the Chiefs to be back in the Super Bowl, because I think it's gonna be tough in the NFC. Because like we got the Lions coming back, the Commanders should be better in your own division. The Cowboys, if they can get healthy, yeah, they're. I know you're gonna say it. Yeah, they're the laughing stock, but the Cowboys, when healthy, are always a good regular season team. The Rams, will see what they look like. The Niners, if they can get back to being good. The entire NFC North, it's gonna be tough for the Eagles. So I would put my money on. Sure, I'll say no. Actually, no, because you said none of them. So I'll say no. One of them will be back next season.
One of them fellas has to beat Pat Mahomes at some point.
You
Whether
would
it's Lamar,
think.
Joe.
You would think. And I remember I had a bold prediction. I think it was after the Chiefs beat the Ravens in week 1 on that Thursday game or whatever. I said the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl, and the only way they lose it would be because of an NFC team. And that's exactly what happened. And I don't know if it, not that they're not capable of it, but it just seems like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl is just inevitable. 7 years in the AFC in his career. He's lost to Joe Burrow and Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. Other than that, he's been in the Super Bowl. 5 Super Bowls in 7 years. Like, obviously, he probably will lose prior to the Super Bowl again, but I just can't bet on that happening. But I'm sure Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen will get it done one of these years, but I just can't bet on that happening when it just hasn't happened.
I've been sending emails out to D'Amico Ryans, and me and him are gonna get on a phone call or maybe a Zoom link here soon, and I'm gonna help him build out that offensive line. So the Texans will be there next year. C.J. Stroud not going out the way he did this year.
So that's your way too early hot take of next season that the Texans are gonna beat the team to beat the Chiefs.
I mean, probably not, but I like C.J. Stroud.
Okay. All right. Before we get into the review of the game, I said I had something for you. So a couple episodes back, I'm not sure how long ago it was, I wanted to see how many of the Super Bowl winners you could go back. So I'm going to give you the teams that won the Super Bowl. I want to see how far you can go back naming me the Super Bowl MVP. You have 0 strikes. You have to go as far as you can consecutively. You have 0 strikes since I'm giving you the team that won. So you just got to tell me the Super Bowl MVP and see how far back you can go.
You're going to be disappointed.
What? Wow. So obviously you got this year, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. I was going to say, you got that? The Chiefs?
Probably Pat.
The Chiefs again.
Pat.
The Rams.
Coop.
Yep. The Bucks.
Tom.
The Chiefs,
Pat.
the Patriots.
I think all of the Patriots were Tom except the one against the Rams. So I will say Tom.
This one's Edelman.
Is, it,
This is the Edelman one. You did say except the one against the Rams, so I'll give that because you did say except the one against the Rams. Do you want me to give you the matchup instead of just the winners?
So that was 2019.
Yeah.
Damn. So I knew that was Edelman.
Yeah. The Eagles in 2018 against the Patriots.
Had to have been Foles.
Yep. The Patriots.
Tom.
The Broncos against the Panthers.
Damn. I don't think it was Peyton. But I don't know. Was it Von?
Von Miller. The Patriots.
Tom.
Yup. You may get stumped here. The Seattle Seahawks.
I might get stumped.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I didn't want you to come and just rip off Russell Wilson right away.
Because it was a blowout. It was a defensive guy, wasn't it?
It was.
I want to say it was a corner. Safety. It was a secondary guy. If it's not a secondary, I'm out.
Then you're out. It's not a secondary guy. It was Malcolm Smith, linebacker. Yeah.
Hell no.
The Ravens, I'm sure you would have known before that.
Lamar Jackson.
For sure. The Giants.
Terrible losses, man. Terrible to fucking Peyton's brother.
Green Bay, New Orleans. Yeah. Okay, you did pretty decent, though. You did pretty decent. You know, those were, little layups, but you did get the Von Miller one in there. Like I said, I expected you to kind of miss at the Malcolm Smith one, but I figured I had belief that you would get there at least, and you did. So I'm proud of you. You said you weren't gonna do bad, but you did pretty well. But
it's just saying the quarterback is a kind good
of a
bet.
Cheat code, yeah, just to say the quarterback on the winning team for sure. But let's get into the review of Super Bowl 59. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. This game was 34-0 at one point. It was domination from start to finish for Philadelphia. Dog. So I'm watching this game at my friend's house. Game starts. Chiefs start off slow. They're down 10-0. So I tell my friend, the Chiefs have literally been down 10 points in every single Super Bowl that they've won. So I am not tripping whatsoever. I think this game is, still 50-50 on whoever will win this game. Then there's a pick six. Chiefs go down 17-0. Now I'm a little skeptical. It's like, dang, 17-0? But it's Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna be part of the story. Anything can happen. And then they go 3 and out. Then the Eagles get us the Kansas City Chiefs defense gets to stop. I'm like, okay, Chiefs got the ball before halftime. You go score here, then score out of halftime. We got a game. But then the Chiefs get the ball before half, don't score. Eagles score again. Now it's 24-0 before halftime. And this is where the doubt really started creeping in. It was like, fuck. Are we really about to see a blowout of a Super Bowl and the Chiefs aren't going to do anything? But I'm like, you know what? Andy Reid's a great coach. Steve Spagnuolo's a great defensive mind. Patrick Mahomes, obviously one of the greatest ever. I'm sure him, Trav, Chris Jones are in that locker room going crazy, fired up, trying to get the team some energy. They come out the half and go 3 and out, and they don't do anything. And that's when I was, and then the Eagles get the ball, go down and score, and that's when I was like, okay, this game is over. For the longest, I just had faith in the Chiefs. I was like, no, they're not out yet. Then coming out of halftime, there's no adjustment, and you allow the Eagles to walk it down the field and score again. I was like, really? This is how it's gonna go down, 31-0. The Eagles are just mopping the floor with this team. And you saw it from the jump. The interior of the Chiefs offensive line, that's supposed to be the bright spot of their offensive line, got murdered by that Eagles defensive line. Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, they could not do anything to stop that Eagles defensive line. uh Jalen Carter, whether it was Jordan Davis, who Josh Sweat had a really good game too. The Chiefs could not do anything to stop the Eagles defense no matter what. And then you compound that with Patrick Mahomes turning the ball over 3 times in this game.
It
The
was
fir-
horrible.
that pick six to Cooper DeJean was god awful. Was fucking terrible.
The
The
throw to Zach Vaughn was bad too.
and people are gonna say, yeah, I understand he did get hit, but even then, I just don't think it was also a great decision and a great throw by him either. And let me not put this all on Patrick Mahomes. He definitely takes the majority of the blame. But some backbreakers are when it's like, I think you're down 10-0 or maybe 17-0. And then Patrick Mahomes makes a play, rolls out right, and hits D Hop butt naked, wide open. It's probably like a 15-yard catch, and then there's green grass in front of D Hop. Nobody even not another player on offense or defense on the screen with D Hop. It's literally just D Hop and the ball on the screen, and he drops it. That's just a backbreaker when nothing's going
Got
for
Chris
you,
Jones
and
falling down on his knees.
Chris, yeah, literally on the sideline, just falling down and putting his head into the ground. Like, that's just a backbreaker for you. And for as much as I talked about playoff Kelsey, he was a ghost in this game. Didn't do a damn thing. Literally
He
nothing.
had 2 drops.
Literally nothing. He was not good in this game. And the only bright spot, I talked about it a little bit in the overreactions, the only bright spots for the Kansas City Chiefs as a whole in this game is how you defended Saquon Barkley. I said early in this game, the Chiefs are doing a really good job on Saquon Barkley. They're stopping him. They're whether it's a short gain or he's losing yards, but it did not matter because the offense could not get anything going. Could not get anything going. And it was just so crazy to see. Because in everybody's mind, it's like, all right, the Chiefs are just going to turn it on eventually. They're just going to flip that switch and turn it on. But it just never came. The Eagles just never let up. And Patrick Mahomes had pressure in his face literally every single time. I forget what it, oh man. I forget what play exactly it was, but and there was a flag on this play, but legitimately the second, oh, it was when the guy was offsides and Eagles defender was offsides, and Patrick Mahomes snaps the ball, and I mean in a half second, that literally the second he snaps the ball, there's somebody in his face screaming through the
Yeah.
middle. It was insane. They're like, it's like the Chiefs defense didn't know what to do, or the Chiefs offensive line, sorry, didn't know what to do with that defensive line. And the Eagles didn't blitz in this game until late in the fourth quarter, and they were still able to get all that pressure. When you're able to rush a quarterback with only four linemen and they be able to drop 7 back in coverage, you're in for a good game as a defense. You're in for a good game if you don't have to blitz or send extra rush or send a linebacker in or send a defensive back in. Like the Chiefs could not do anything, and it was just crazy to watch. Crazy to watch.
It looked to me like they blitzed a couple times, but at the end of the game, the stats say that Pat Mahomes had 42 dropbacks, and the Eagles blitzed 0% of the game. Not one time in the entire game did they blitz, and that's absolutely insane.
I think it was like 12% throughout the playoffs, and that's the lowest ever. It's crazy.
But you just didn't need to.
Didn't.
The only thing I was gonna say is you said the only bright spot was them slowing Saquon down. Xavier Worthy also had a very good game.
For sure.
He was about the only player on offense that actually showed up, and he broke the record for rookie yards in a Super Bowl with 157. So shouts out to him. But they got their ass whooped, and the worst part, not the worst part, but a goofy part to me is that Pat Mahomes showed up to the game in that bright green Philly green tuxedo from head to toe. And it's like, dude, you can't be doing all this to have debatably your worst game of all time.
Ever. Like, you look at this box score and you're like, hold on, Patrick Mahomes didn't play that bad, but he was legitimately awful. Even if he didn't turn the ball over in this game, just the throws he missed, he's throwing it to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has to adjust and go back. Just the throws he missed, aside from the turnovers, he was just not good in this game. And it's crazy because it's the complete opposite of the Buck Super Bowl. His stats look bad, but they weren't as bad as he played. He did not play as bad as his stats say in the Buck Super Bowl, I think. But this game, his stats don't look as bad as how he actually played. It's literally flipped.
In the preseason, Brandon Graham was on Kay Adams' show. Shout out to Kay Adams. She was a phenomenal follow in these playoffs. But he was on her show, and he said that if they were to win a Super Bowl, he would come back for another season. He had planned for this to be his last season, but he would come back if they won it all. So we'll see if he actually comes
Does that
back or
mean he
not. He
had no
missed.
faith since he said he was going to retire? He's like, oh, we're not winning it, so yeah, I'm going to retire. Does that mean he didn't have faith in the team winning?
I don't know. He tore his pec in week 6
Mm-hmm.
and ended up being back for the Super Bowl. And he actually he was chasing Mahomes down on a couple different plays, but I don't know if he had many stats, but he was definitely a force for that line. There was a guy on Twitter named Dominique, and he tweeted and said that he plays more like DeJean Cooper than Cooper DeJean, and it made me laugh like immediately.
Shout out to
Stupid
Cooper
shit
DeJean,
like
shout out to him.
stupid shit like that always makes me laugh.
Man, pick 6 in your first pick of your career in the Super Bowl on your birthday. Like, I just can't imagine that feeling, bro. But this was just, and it was an awful Super Bowl, by the way. And you asked me, would I rather the blowout game like this or the 13-3 game like the Rams? And for as bad as the Super Bowl was, I'm still taking this one over the 13-3 game. I think I would still take a Super Bowl like this over the 13-3. But yeah, like we were saying, man. I talked about how bad the Eagles or the Chiefs were. I want to give some praise to, like I said, the Eagles in this game. We already talked about Jalen Hurts a lot in the overreactions, but there were some throws that Jalen Hurts made that were like, holy shit, my goodness, that was beautiful. The one where I think it was to AJ Brown again. I always reference that AJ Brown went down the right side.
The right side,
bro. In the bread basket, shout out bread basket. But literally on the money to AJ Brown whenever they needed a big play, a third down, and they went balls to the wall. I texted you in this game when they went for it on that first 4th down and didn't get it. I think it was, and I was like, I told you they shouldn't be doing it. But then they were like, fuck that. And they didn't even go to the tush push at first. They were like, no, we're just going to come out and run a play. So you can tell that they had trust in Jalen Hurts to operate and say, we trust you to do something more than the tush push. We're going to give you an actual play here on 4th down, on 3rd and long, and go make something happen. And every time they needed him, Jalen Hurts went out there and showed up. He had 72 yards rushing, and it wasn't like he was just doing it through the air, man. He was sensational in this game. Jalen Hurts, bro, I was not a hater, but I was super, super critical of you, bro. And like, I was just so happy to see him win. And I know, especially Niners fans on Twitter, I can understand why people hate Niners fans, because it's just like, man, now Jalen Hurts got a Super Bowl ring. Now people gonna be talking about him. Like, bro, it's just like, it's the worst way to watch sports. I was so happy. Like I said, once they started celebrating and actually won, I was happy for every single person on that roster. Literally every single person. I could not stop, smiling because Jalen Hurts was a Super Bowl champion. I was so happy for them. And a guy like AJ Brown too, the story he has, him being open about his mental health and shit like that. Man, I was just happy to see them win. So happy to see them win.
You know who's the Super Bowl champion?
Who's that? Go ahead and say his fucking name. Go ahead and say it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Are you gonna say what's his face? Paris?
Number 80. Paris Campbell.
Yep.
Super Bowl champion, dog.
Would you rather have seen him win? I guess probably him, since Juju already has one. I was gonna say him or Juju, but Juju already has one, so probably Paris.
I mean, Juju actually had a catch, so I mean that would have mattered a little bit more. But
okay,
Paris Campbell, he was every time he checked in and he was out there to run block or something, I'd be like, yeah, Paris. And the one time they brought him in motion, and I was like, oh, is he gonna get the handoff? Because he's fast as hell. But
absolutely not.
Of course he didn't. And at that point, Kenny Pickett was already in, so it literally didn't matter. But I just wanted to see him get some stats.
Yeah, and as far as this game goes, continue. I'll continue. I was gonna say I didn't have much else to say. So go ahead.
I was done with that statement. I was just gonna continue on that. Tom Brady commentating this game was decent, and I don't know if you heard him because you said you were kind of bouncing around a little bit. But at one point, he mentioned he verbatim said, "In my first 9 Super Bowls," and then he continued on with his statement, like saying, "In my first 9 Super Bowls" was something that everybody just gets to witness. And then in his 10th one, he adapted, and it's like he was wearing in between a $600 and $800,000 watch on his wrist.
Watch. Yes, I saw it pregame when they were like on Bourbon Street or whatever. I saw that watch and I was like, holy shit! I just knew that was worth a nice chunk of change, bro. It was popping out. Shot. Hey, he got it like
And
that.
I told my pops that because one source said it was 600, one source said it's 800, so that's why I said it's in between there. But I told my pops, I was like, yeah, Tom's wearing a $600,000 watch right now, and he goes, yeah, what else is he gonna do with it? And it's like, honestly, that's true. He's got so much money. There's nothing.
Why wouldn't you?
You got to spend it somewhere.
Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah. I don't blame him.
That the game was already over, and I already mentioned Xavier Worthy, but when Pat Mahomes dropped back and he just said screw it and threw it to him, that throw right here was
beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Damn, we just said beautiful at the exact same time. Look at us. And speaking of Tom Brady, we had the conversation if he's the GOAT or if Pat Mahomes is going to pass him. And Pat Mahomes already has more interceptions in his 5 Super Bowls than Tom threw in all of his 10.
Patrick Mahomes, I saw his stats for him every Super Bowl from all his Super Bowls. It's not very good. It's not very good numbers, and that's with him throwing 3 garbage time touchdowns in this game. And his stats are not very good, but I'm gonna digress. I'm not gonna say too much about that, but I saw his stats and comparison to Brady. They are not good at all. It was like 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. It has not been good.
AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. You say Devontae or you say Devonta?
I'm both.
I think his name's.
I'm both.
I think his name's Devonta.
That's why I've been saying it a lot more because I think that's the way it's supposed to be pronounced. But I definitely do catch myself saying Devontae too. So I'm both. But I try to say Devontae.
I'll probably just always say Devontae because it makes more sense in my brain.
It just sounds better.
But those two, after there was 3 minutes still in the game, and they ran up to him, and he started to turn around a little bit, so they just kind of like turned and was holding the big tote of Gatorade, and then they ran back up to him and dumped it on him again. I was like, holy crap, they just dumped it on him, and the game's not even over yet. And my dad, I think he wanted to stop watching after the halftime show. He goes, this game's been over for a fucking hour. And I was like, yeah, but they don't actually do it until like the clock hits 0 and they're doing interviews and stuff, and it's just kind of cool to see. Nick, so when the game wasn't on, were you still tuned? Like, did you see any commercials or anything?
Yeah. Like I even when I was driving, I still tried to have it pulled up on my phone or something, playing in on the car speaker or something like that. Yeah.
Did you see the one with Nick Foles where Tom called like the one guy and it was like, yeah, my uncle actually played against you?
No, I saw Nick Foles had a tweet, but no, I didn't see that commercial. No.
The tweet is what I was going to mention. Nick Foles tweeted at him and said, it's really cool that Tom Brady got to be there for the Eagles' 2 Super Bowl wins. He might be a good luck charm.
Yeah.
That's just some crazy dick riding because like.
Shout out to Nick Foles, but I'll go continue.
At some points in my life, I can be a hater. I strive to at some point be as big as a hater as Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
is to him.
Really?
Because
did she have some tweets? Something?
She was on the field after the game celebrating.
Really? Yes. I had no clue.
How does she get on the field?
Yeah, I was gonna say. How did she get down there? Was she with the Eagles? Like, was she like?
I mean, she's like an influencer, but like, people got to know who she is. It's just.
Imagine Travis watching to the
highest
back
degree.
To the locker room, and he just sees her walking past him, just celebrating and in the confetti. Hey. Man, I was hoping for this because I thought this could have been such a great Super Bowl, and it was just so disappointing that it wasn't. Like, I was watching the entire game, obviously, but it felt like especially when I was hanging out with my friends or at my brothers, it felt like we were just kicking back most of the time, and the Super Bowl was just on. Because the game was pretty much over. So that's what it felt like a lot of the time. But you asked me about the commercials. Did you have a favorite commercial from this Super Bowl?
There wasn't any like memorable ones. There was some that like I would laugh at, and then it's like okay, but the Bud Light one with Post Malone and the funny dude, and then Peyton Manning's at the end of it. That one was okay. I don't know. I don't remember
Me
them
neither.
well
I know
enough.
the Nike one I saw was pretty good. I didn't even see I saw it that it was on like on the TV when I was watching Super, but I wasn't really paying much attention to it. Then I saw it on Twitter. I saw it was actually pretty good. But yeah, there hasn't been a Super Bowl commercial that has wowed me in a pretty long time. I guess maybe since we're getting older, I don't know what it is, but like I know there were some pretty decent ones I remember from back in the day, like the Doritos Time Machine one. I always loved. I feel like Skittles always had some pretty good commercials, Super Bowl commercials back in the day. But yeah, there aren't really many that I really love. Oh, the Tom Brady one was pretty good. The Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt one was pretty good. Where the battery, the Duracell one, where like the Brady was
Oh,
speaking, he
and he
kind of
goes,
like
"I gotta go to
died,
Gronk now."
and then
That
yeah,
one was
and
okay.
I like that one. That was pretty good. But yeah, I can't even really remember any other ones. But
I
yeah,
just think it's the fact that a commercial for the Super Bowl is $8 million. That's just outrageous. It doesn't need to be that high. I
I
understand,
understand
but
it. Yeah, but for sure, I understand it because the entire world is watching. But it definitely is ridiculous. What do you think about the halftime show? Uh oh.
I hate
Uh
that
oh.
I, I hate that I live around so many white people
Okay.
because they don't understand. And like my boss is a 74-year-old white man, and you can only imagine what he was saying.
For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure.
I literally looked over at my dad at one point. At the beginning of it,
Your boss was there with you watching the Super Bowl.
no,
Oh.
this was that he was talking about it this morning.
Okay. Okay.
It was, but I was at my pop's house and he was watching the beginning of it, and he had no idea what was going on. He damn near doesn't even know who Kendrick is. But
Mhm.
I look over at him about halfway through because I was like, I'm vibing with this, but I guarantee he's about bored of this right now, and he's literally asleep.
Holy shit.
And it ends and it switches to the lady talking. It's like, and that was Kendrick Lamar for the halftime show, and he leans up real fast and goes, "That was pretty good." And I was like, I
Like
didn't even say
ridiculous.
anything.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. No,
But
I thought it was decent.
I thought he was good,
Mhm.
but I don't think he was Super Bowl halftime
It didn't
performance
feel like
worthy.
a Super Bowl halftime show, to be honest. It didn't feel like one. Usually, there's a bunch of like whole like theatrics and other. It's like kind of like not a circus, but like there's just a bunch of shit going on. Like Katy Perry, there's beach balls being thrown around, people in shark costumes, people are on zip lines or something. When it was in SoFi, you had like Snoop Dogg and all them on that huge ass podium. Snoop Dogg's getting his dancing, crip walking. It was a good performance and I enjoyed it, but it didn't feel like a Super Bowl halftime show. That's literally exactly how I was gonna put it. It just didn't feel like a Super Bowl halftime show because it's usually those feel so above and beyond and like grandiose. It's like it's kind of like it's a little bit too much going on, but it's a good thing, a good too much going on in Super Bowl halftime shows. And this didn't feel like it had that extraness going on that most shows usually have.
Because that's not who Kendrick
And
Lamar is. He was
for
there
sure,
to tell his story, and his
for
story
sure,
was beautiful.
for sure.
But people who don't understand the story aren't going to understand how good his performance actually was. The Super Bowl, it's supposed to be those theatrics. It's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be banger after banger so that everybody can just say, wow, that was good. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say that if you polled 100 people and you showed them both performance, most of the people would say that the Shakira and J Lo performance was better than Kendrick, just because I think that's the I don't like politics and shit, but that's the point of where we are as a country. I just I don't know.
Yeah, but like I
Shout out
said,
Kendrick though.
yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed it because like I said, I was driving at this point, so I had to go back and watch it, and I enjoyed it for what it was. But like I said, it just didn't feel like a halftime show, but it was a really good performance. I think.
And Sam Jackson being Uncle Sam was
Yeah,
beautiful. I
shit
love
like
Sam
that, like
Jackson.
the American flag shit. All the people in the colors, then all the colors are divided. It was cool. Like it was a good show, but it like again, just not a Super Bowl halftime show. But shout out to you,
I don't know
Kendrick.
how
I
all
think
the
you did a great
motherfuckers
job.
got out that car though.
Who knows? Who fucking knows? Who knows?
It panned to Serena Williams at one point, and I looked. I was like, damn, her big ass. That's gotta be Serena. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know why she would be there, and they don't
Yeah,
really mention her at all, other than just showing her once. And she
and
had
she's
that shit
just
with Drake happen a while
dancing.
ago,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it was cool.
I enjoyed it.
After the game, Odell posted a picture to his story of Philly Saquon helping up eat like New York Saquon, and like
That's
it's so
cool.
cool to me that after all of these years, he still rocks with Saquon like it's his brother, and after going through what they did together, and he probably feels like it's his brother, and I'm sure you've seen the meme of like the two women fighting, and the one woman's on top of the other, beating the shit out of her, and there's the dude laying in the background with his feet kicked up, taking the picture of the fight. Jamar Chase posted that to his story of it was the Bengals laying back taking a picture, and it was the Eagles beating the shit out of the Chiefs. And it's like, dog,
I don't
y'all
know the
didn't
meme
even
you're
make the
talking about.
playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know the meme you're talking about. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like even fucking I guess it's different for players and fans, but it's like shit like that. It's like, bro, why are you so happy that they beat them? It's like like that again, it's probably different for players than fans because players you actually have the rivalry, you actually have the beef with these guys, you're actually, playing against them. But it's just like, why do you like what does that do for your fan base or your team that another team beat the team that beat you? Literally, what does that do for you? Like so many people were like, no, the Chiefs can't. The Chiefs can't three-peat. They cannot. The Eagles have to. It's like, what does that do for your fan base that the Chiefs lost? They still beat you on their way there. The only team that can be talking are the Eagles. So I don't know why so many different fan bases are speaking on the Chiefs losing when it's like they've beaten everybody, every single team to get to where they were.
Lamar Jackson would have beat him.
If only he gave himself a chance.
AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley were two very, very important players for this offense. Both guys ended up here because their former team didn't want to pay them the high
Jackass.
dollar amount. Do you believe that these two guys are going to start showing teams that you need to invest in your stars a little bit more than what teams are, or do you think this is just a coincidence and people are still going to be
Um, for their
stingy?
for their stars in general, I'm not sure, but I think Saquon did a lot for the running backs. But for stars in general, I don't know if AJ Brown, not to discredit him, but I don't know if he does a lot. It was a terrible idea. Like I still vividly remember them flipping to the Titans,
Mike
like,
Vrabel?
and Mike Vrabel walked away pissed. He was pissed that they traded AJ Brown. So I don't know if AJ Brown does a lot for stars in general, but I think Saquon did a lot for running backs because this has to be the worst 365 days or whatever it's been for the New York Giants in a long time. You don't sign them because you signed Daniel Jones. You actually, no, we're not going to give you this money. We're going to let you walk. He goes in division, tears you guys up, tears the entire league up, runs for 2,000 yards, has an amazing playoff run, and wins the Super Bowl. So this has to be a terrible year for the Giants and Giants fans. But so yeah, I think Saquon does a lot for the running back market, especially, and a lot of other running backs too. I think he does a lot for running backs going in the future. But I don't know about the AJ Brown and superstars though.
Because we even see it still this offseason. A guy like Cooper Kupp, who has done so much for his team and is still a very high level player, they're moving on from him because he's making too much money. And
Money
it's like, it's just kind of sad. We'll see how that ends up.
for sure.
But on the coach front, they got Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio.
Mm-hmm.
Two very different situations. Kellen Moore was rumored before the game started to have accepted the Saints job. And after the game, Nick Sirianni looks at him and
Yep.
goes, "Let's run this shit back, Kellen." And
And if
it,
I'm Kellen Moore, I stay a year with the Eagles, and it's not like
that's
I'm
my
I'm
question.
sticking to the future. I'm here for the next 10 years. It's like, okay, let's run it back, and there's
And
probably
you
gonna
build
be
a
a
dynasty.
better situation, even if he doesn't want to stay. Just wait for a better opportunity to open up than the New Orleans Saints, because
The Saints.
he can definitely land a better job if he just stays one more year. Because what are some I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's gonna be better coaching vacancies for him in the future. What Brian Dable, if he gets fired next season, if the Giants have another stinker year, the
Browns could
Giants would
open
be a
up.
better. The Browns could open up. There's just better spots for him, I think, than the New Orleans Saints. So if I'm Kellen Moore, I stick with the Eagles for another season.
Fair enough. And Vic Fangio, his defense was unbelievable in this game. And the fact that he was in Miami and the coordinator for the Dolphins, and the players didn't like the way he coached,
Mm-hmm.
and they laughed at him, and then he moved on from him, the fans cheer,
Yeah,
and,
the
and
like the,
they're
the
just
Dolphins fans, like I have Dolphins friends, and they were so happy that he was gone. They hated him.
their team was just too childish to understand how brilliant he really was,
Mm-hmm.
and now here he is being a very big reason of why they're Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Vic Fangio, man. Former Niner.
Bro. Fan,
Sorry,
not
sorry.
van.
Sorry, but shout outs to him. Like I was saying, former Niner.
If you should know how to say his name then.
I don't know. I
You
don't
got
know why
anything else to say
it
about the
just
Super Bowl?
rolls off the. No, I don't have anything else to say about this game. Shout outs to the Eagles and the Eagles fans. Punks. Congrats on being Super Bowl champions.
He didn't see that.
Yeah, if I didn't say it in the first 5 minutes, I don't know that he sees this. He's gonna send me a
He
clip of it.
comments on like every short though.
Yeah, shout outs to him. Shout outs to him and the Eagles for winning this. But we're
So
on the
let's
next
talk
season.
about it. A couple days before the Super Bowl, certain wide receivers tweets out and says that I have been given permission for me and my family to seek a trade.
I don't know why I thought we talked about this on last episode. I felt like I don't know why this feels like it happened a little bit ago, but I guess not. But yeah, so what he's alluding to is Deebo Samuel. Apparently, he requested a trade in his exit interviews, but it just came out a couple of days ago. Adam Schefter had reported that the Niners are giving Deebo Samuel permission to seek a trade. And this is something I honestly saw coming. I literally said, well, we didn't have this podcast, but I said when Ricky Pearsall was drafted, I think this is Deebo Samuel's last year with the team. I was saying it all offseason that I really thought this was probably his last year with the team. And especially compounded with the season he had this year, definitely a subpar season for his standard.
How good Jalen was.
Exactly. You have, I guess it's kind of, weird because you have BA coming off of this complete knee tear, so it's going to be weird. I guess it could be a little difficult. But you still have George Kittle putting up 1,000 yards. Jawan almost put up 1,000 yards. Ricky, when he did get targets, looked promising. He had some decent little moments to where he could be a high-end wide receiver 3 or a decent option at a wide receiver 2 if BA's out for a little while. But yeah, I don't know how much we're going to be able to get back for a guy like Deebo Samuel, but I'm definitely not surprised at all that he is gonna be on a new team.
Oh
but
man, what is his name?
Maybe we can put together pick 11, Deebo Samuel, and maybe another draft pick, and he can go over to Cleveland, and we can bring in number 95.
Not getting him.
Number 95, but yeah. I'm not that I'm not tripping over Deebo, but it's not a shocker. I saw something like this coming. I really thought this was his last year, whether he had a really good season or a really bad season. I definitely thought this was his last year with the team, and it's no ill will towards him. I don't hate him or anything, or think he's a terrible person for requesting out. I understand it. He wants to go play somewhere else where he can get his numbers in, and things happen. He's on to his next team.
Next year might be the year that Ronnie Bell makes that jump for y'all.
Is that what you just did? Like, damn, I can't remember his name. You just had to go and look up and just.
Because I remember how much you hated Ronnie Bell earlier in the season.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
He's not even on y'all's team anymore. Y'all cut him.
But that's ridiculous. But yeah, Deebo, I wasn't surprised by it. I wish him well wherever he goes. Whether it's a team like the Panthers, going to get a guy for Bryce Young.
No.
I really don't know where it's going to be. But
I saw people saying the Broncos, and I didn't hate that one.
Yeah. The Broncos, I think, could be decent, but yeah.
Not the Chargers. Chargers need a receiver. I don't think Deebo's the guy for them. You need a actual receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really have much to say here because this is something I really did expect this to happen. Maybe not he requested trade, but I thought they would just trade him. But what I will say about this, I'm interested to see how this changes the way Kyle Shanahan calls the offense. Because a lot of this offense was predicated around Deebo Samuel, whether it was just getting him the ball quick in a short, quick screen or running the ball. It didn't work, but he loved the Deebo runs. I was saying it all season, stop with Deebo runs, but he loved this. The Deebo end arounds, the jet sweeps with Deebo. So I want to see how his offense changes this season because ever since Deebo's been here, since he was drafted in 2019, Deebo has had sort of like a Deebo package. There's a bunch of plays that specifically only Deebo can run because he's getting the end around, the jet sweep, where it's 7 or 5 blockers are kicking out left and he's running and following a lead block. So I just want to see how this offense is going to look next season without Deebo Samuel.
Maybe Jordan Mason will actually get to play more.
No, I don't know. If Christian McCaffrey's healthy, probably not, because Kyle Shanahan just seems steadfast on one running back and, not a second guy. But yeah.
The last thing that I have on the football front is the New York Jets have let the world know that Aaron Rodgers will not be returning to their franchise.
Dang. Dang, man. Dang. And there's legitimately I haven't put too much thought to it, but off the top of my head, there's probably one spot I see him going. Otherwise, I think this may be it for him. And you may, be taken aback, I guess. But I think the Raiders are the only spot, and I think other than that, I just don't see anything else. You got Pete Carroll over there. You're probably not gonna win. I don't know if that's probably his top priority, but I just don't see a winning place for Aaron Rodgers as we speak. But the quarterback position is kind of up in the air for the Raiders, so I don't know. Maybe if they don't go or quarterback, or even if they do go quarterback in the draft, I think Aaron Rodgers is a guy they could probably go after. Like I said, you brought in Pete Carroll and an older veteran coach, so I really think that's one of the few only spots for Aaron Rodgers. I just don't see him in many other places where he would go and start.
Cleveland.
Nah,
Cleveland is a team dumb enough to do something like that. They have a solid defense still. They have some receivers. I would not be even slightly surprised if he ends up in Cleveland.
Especially with Myles Garrett requesting out, and if they do trade him, I think Cleveland should just be going in the other direction and not even trying to get a guy like Aaron Rodgers. But if
They
you're the
won't.
Raiders, you got in Pete Carroll. Maybe you want to be fake competitive this season and see if you can squeeze out anything that's left of Aaron Rodgers. If there's any good in Aaron Rodgers left, you can be fake good with him and Brock Bowers and try to put something together over there. But yeah, that's really it. I just there's not just there really isn't many spots for Aaron Rodgers to go if it wasn't the Jets. I really thought he was just gonna stick with the Jets for another year and then retire after that. But if I'm him, I'd probably just hang it up because it'll probably be another bad season. Because with the spots that are left, it'll probably just be another just bad season. I wouldn't put it past the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers going and getting him if they don't bring back Justin Fields, don't bring back Russ. I wouldn't be put it past them to bring in fucking Aaron Rodgers. But
maybe Sean Payton gets himself an actual quarterback.
Devin, if you're watching this, I apologize on his behalf. Bo Nix is your guy. Don't listen to nothing he just said, bro. I apologize. Yeah. Shout outs to you, Aaron Rodgers. I love you. You're probably my favorite quarterback ever, but looks like your time is up.
That's crazy. Absolutely.
Why is that crazy?
Disgusting.
That he's
I've just never been a Rodgers guy.
I've always been both me and my brother are huge Rodgers guys. I love Aaron Rodgers so much, and it just sucks to see this is how his career is gonna end, man. It really does suck. And he's a guy I wanted on the Niners for the longest. I know we drafted Alex Smith over him. Then I was like, potentially there's a way, we bring him in because there always was the one-off rumor where it's like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady coming home to the Niners, but it just obviously never happened. But now I definitely don't want his ass. So Aaron Rodgers, I love you, and go be the host of Jeopardy.
Y'all could just trade one for one. I'm sure the Jets would take Brock.
I'm sure they would. But I'm good. I'm good. What else we got?
I never liked Rodgers to begin with, and then he was dating Shailene Woodley for a long time, and I never liked her as an actor. And then she was the main character in the Divergent movies, and that was my favorite book series at the time. So it just gave me an even bigger reason to dislike him. And looking back, that was some petty shit, but
yeah, absolutely.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's all I got for football. I'm sure we'll figure something out for next episode. We'll have a theme of some kind, and we'll keep it pushing. Rooting for 25-26 to be a good season. I'm gonna get myself into spring football just a little bit, see if there's any talent over there. I know Herlins won't, so it's whatever. But he won't even watch college football, so I know damn sure he's not.
Actually, I'm really excited for baseball season, man, because this is my third or fourth year being a baseball fan, and I want this to be as locked in as I've ever been on baseball. Because baseball is just it's like being in person, especially. It's such a fun sport because you don't have to know anything about baseball to go to a baseball game and enjoy it. It's just so fun.
But going in person is fun as hell. But I would have to drive 3 hours to go to the Reds or the Tigers or the Guardians, and it's like that ain't worth it because baseball bogus as fuck for real. Especially when the greatest player in the league can't hit a baseball in the World Series. And I pray to God Ant's not watching this.
Sorry to do this to you. Sorry. Get into small talk. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Bro, he really costed us the
Oh
fucking
my goodness.
Giancarlo and
Get
what's
it
my man
off.
with
Get it
the
off,
mess
man. Get
name?
it off. Get it off.
Oh my gosh, I can't even think of his name. Juan Soto. Juan Soto was so good. So good. And he just leaves for nothing. For nothing. Shout out Madison Green. They're on a 2-game losing streak.
Oh no.
They played
Take that
UCLA
back.
and USC, two of the top 5 teams in the country back to back in California.
USC. Juju Watkins.
Juju Watkins and Kiki Ariafin, and Kiki Ariafin is absolutely unbelievable. And when we were in Louisville, there was a chick that looked just like Kiki Ariafin that I tried to talk myself up to talk to her the whole night, and I pussied out at the end, so I was upset with myself. But
Dang, man.
uh,
Dang. I have a story about this week. I didn't, as you said, pussy out. But I went out this week and I went out to the club with a friend, and I like they were already there, and I got there later because I was working. I got off later. So I go over there. I park in the parking garage. I'm walking out the garage, and someone says hey to me. Like this girl, she's in a group of like 4 girls. She says hey, and I didn't think it was to me at first, but then I looked back and she was like, yeah, hey. So I fake like I'm going back, like I needed something in my car just to spin back and get a good look at her, because she said hey to me, but I didn't really see her. So I fake like I'm going back to my car, and whatever. So I go to my car, act like I'm looking for something in there, then I just walk. I get out my car and walk back to the parking garage. And then after the night, when we were going down the same way, so it's like it's kind of like the awkward, like we're walking the same path, but it was like we already finished having our conversation, but we're going down the same way. And they go into a different club, I go into one, and afterwards, as I'm leaving, at this point I'm a little drunk. I don't know if sober Hurlins would have done this, but I'm definitely drunk. So as I get back to my car, I grab some paper, grab a pen, and I did like 5 sheets. I ripped up a paper into like 5 different like pieces, and I wrote to the fine ass light skin that said hi to me when I was walking to the elevator. Here's my number and here's my Instagram, and I put it in every single door handle, and then I put it on the windshield, and then I was like, we'll see if she texts me in the morning. And the next morning she did end up texting me. So it's probably not going to lead to anything, but that's just, I don't know if sober Hurlins would have done that, but I ended up doing that. I literally put to the fine ass light skin that said hi to me. Here's my number and here's my Instagram. And I just put it in the door handles.
that's funny as hell. Damn, I don't want to move on for that. That was fun. Small talk.
Mm-hmm.
This might just fucking die because I don't know how to like continue to bring stuff that's gonna cause actual conversation. Maybe this is just a Thursday episode because we have the waffle on Mondays. And
like when we need something, you can bring it. We need an extra. Okay.
But damn, I'm trying to stop saying I've been saying that for months now, and I'm doing a little bit better. But
yeah, that was one.
If you were a hero,
huh?
if you, man, them resolutions. I got. Speaking of resolutions, I was sitting here on Saturday night, and I wasn't sad or I wasn't mad or anything, and I just like I didn't crack or break or anything, but I just got like in a mood where I was just pissed at the world, and I deleted Twitter, like my not my account, but like
yeah,
I logged out of everything, so I can't get back into it. So if anybody messaged me on Twitter, or I won't see it. So I only have our account right now, and then I unsubscribed from everybody except 4 people on Twitch, and completely like logged out of Twitch on everything as well, and deleted Twitch from my phone. So I don't know if I'll end up going back to it for a while, but
what happened, man? What the hell happened?
I don't know. I just kind of snapped for no reason, and then I went back to playing the game like nothing happened. It was a weird little break though, but you were one of those 4 people. So shouts out to you for no reason, because it's not like you stream.
We'll see. Next one might be WrestleMania. That might be the next one. We'll see.
All 4 people I'm subscribed to, none of them stream. It was you. It was Mike streams. So it was you, KB, and then Clash Bashing, and none of y'all really stream anymore.
Hey, bro, KB. He had been scamming me for a while. Then I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to let him scam me. I'm going to use my Twitch Prime because, fuck it. It's free. Maybe when he comes back, I'll have the resub. Then he loved doing a fucking fake comeback On his burner, he'll talking about we back. I just got the itch to stream again. Comes back, does 5 streams in 7 days. It's like, okay, maybe he's back. You give him the sub because like, okay, he's actually back. So you sub, and then his ass is gone for another 6 months until he gets that fucking itch back. It'd be crazy, man. It'd be fucking crazy. I guarantee you, in the next 2 months, we're gonna get a tweet from him saying he got the itch to stream again. He's on his streaming arc and something like that, and it's just gonna fall through again.
The most frustrating part is that it's always, I don't know why your screen does that now.
Yeah.
But it's always at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's always an early stream. It's not like Mike where Mike stream at like 10 or later. It's always a noon stream, a 2 p.m. stream. It's always, dog, always. So I'm never home.
Like,
it's I gotta watch it from
at work,
Exactly. Yeah.
Back to small talk. I don't know how we just got to that.
Don't know.
But if you're a hero in a movie, what's your interest theme? You can pick any song. You can pick any character that you're gonna be like the hero that you are.
Yeah, I'm a superhero. Or just
no,
like the protagonist,
you don't have to be.
So I'm just the good guy in the movie, though. Is what you're saying?
Whatever you want. Yeah, you're just. But like the first time you're seeing it, this song plays, and it like goes with your character. Like Spider-Man,
yeah,
Spider-Man.
The song that instantly came to mind was the Rocky music, but I just don't think that's a good choice. Like but I don't think that's a good choice. But you just put me on the spot, so I really have no clue. But that's the first thing that came to mind. So fuck it, we're gonna go with that. The Rocky Balboa music will be my entrance. Music.
When I've said on here before, when I was young, we went to a lot of Ohio State basketball games, and they played "Run This Town" as they were coming out every single game, and it's the Jay-Z, Kanye, and I want to say Rihanna's on there.
Slow motion, you're gonna be walking now. It's panning up to you. It's like, we gonna run this town tonight.
But I specifically want the Kanye verse.
Okay.
Because Kanye goes hard as hell on that song.
Okay.
And no affiliations with Kanye at this point.
That's crazy that we have to say that, bro. That's yeah. Get your shit together, man. Get your shit together. Yeah, I don't know what else I'll go. So I'm going with Rocky.
You seen all the Rockies?
Nope, haven't seen one Rocky.
So you haven't seen the Creeds?
Nope.
No, oh my!
Actually, no. I've seen the first Creed. I watched it in school. Couldn't tell you what happened.
So you didn't even? Oh my! No,
I didn't go to the theater to watch
it. No. Bro.
I didn't go to the theater to watch.
No, you don't have to go to the theater, but.
I mean this when I say it. I'm not a movie, and I don't go to the theaters for movies. I don't go. Like, I don't go to the movie theater unless I'm asked to go. Like, if someone asks me, "Hey, you want to go? This movie came out. You want to go see it?" I will go. But I have never in my life been, "Holy shit, this movie's dropping. I'm going. Never. I'm not a movie guy. Actually, no, that's a lie. Inside Out 2 came out, and I told my friends we're going to see that movie. That's the one movie in my life where I was like, I'm going to see this. That's it.
Let me look real quick.
You're gonna do that? You shut the fuck up and put that phone down, bro. Yeah, shout outs to Inside Out. It's my favorite. I love Inside Out.
Bro, the Creed trilogy is unbelievably good. You're missing out on a lot. And Tessa Thompson is brilliant in those movies, and she has like a hearing issue, and in the third one they have a kid, and they're her in the first two, her biggest fear was like their kid was gonna be deaf, and it comes out deaf, and like she's super sad and is crying and shit, and like growing up I didn't cry a lot. I'm a fucking bitch now. I cry.
Bro, I swear we're in sync, bro. I swear we have the same. Because literally, I knew you because I texted you at work, or you texted me, and I was like, I'll see if I can come up with something. And I was gonna bring up something for small talk, and I was gonna ask the last time you cried. That's literally what I was gonna ask you, bro. You just started talking about. I swear we're in sync. But go ahead, continue.
Listening to the song "Train Food" by X always gets me in my feels. I don't know why. It's not like a phenomenal song or anything. It's just he pours out his emotions on that.
That's different. When's the last time you've just cried? Like, not because of a song, because of like a movie, just like an actual cry.
Oh, like not because it was forced. Not in a while.
Me neither. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I bring this up because I was thinking about it because and this is gonna be sound weird because LA Knight, I don't know if you're watching SmackDown. He came out and cut a promo and talking about that. Like he was like, just to all the men out there, he's like, I want to be serious for a second. To all the men out there, you can cry. It doesn't make you any less of a man. Something along those lines. That was like the gist of it. But yeah, and that's why I thought about that. And like I thought about it for myself. And like the last time I think I actually like broke down crying was at my grandpa's funeral, which was 2020. So we're 5 years away from that, and that's like that's the last time I've actually cried. And then before that, I couldn't tell you when. Which I not that it's a bad or good thing. I just think I wish I cried more, to be honest. It's like he said it. I don't. It's not a bad thing to cry. It doesn't make you any less of a man. But it's just, and it's not that like nothing bad has happened in my life and I didn't have anything to cry over. It's just I don't know. It's just not me. I just don't cry often. And I guess not
I
that I wish I did, but it's like I wish I just I don't know. I don't know. But I think I should be crying more than what I do.
I get more emotional than like a sadness cry. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching a movie or a show or something, or that would be the reason I'm crying. Or if I'm reading a book or
Mm-hmm.
something is making me cry. It's not like I get really sad and that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's coming. But like if I'm watching, say I'm watching American Idol and one of those stories on there is like really heartfelt, I'm not gonna try to hide my tears. I'm gonna let them out. But the reason I wouldn't cry is if I was to get sad, because then that's when I feel like a bitch. But if it's just because like this is emotional,
I
I'm
promise you,
not.
you're not a bitch for crying in that situation.
Oh,
I
I know I'm
promise.
not. The last time I
I feel like a
cried,
bitch, like bro.
the last time I cried not because of something like artistic was probably a couple years ago. Me and my pops had like a major argument. And I didn't talk to him for a couple months, so
Okay.
that had me pretty frustrated. But
And I'm not a guy that cries to movies or anything like that. But I think the last time, literally, I think I shed like a tear or something was at WrestleMania when Cody won, I think. And that's I guess that makes sense to why I see why people cry at movies because I was always like, why the fuck do people cry during a movie? But I guess it's because like I said, I'm not a movie guy, so I've never been attached to anything like that. And Cody's story and him, finding his way back, especially losing the year before, I guess that was something I was super attached to. So when Cody won, there definitely was a tear coming out of my eye. So I can definitely see why people cry at movies and stuff like that now.
I cry at stuff in movies when it's like mental health related, because I had my struggles a couple years ago. So seeing people like go through stuff and realize it's gonna be okay, it always
Mm-hmm.
hits home a little bit. Like not the last season, the season before, there was a chick named Kinsey, and she ended up winning. Spoiler, but there was another guy on there, and he was struggling really bad with his anxiety, and she would like
I
help
was
him
gonna
through it like every
watch.
night. Yo, bitch ass told me you not even gonna watch the next season. When a couple months ago you told me, let me know when Survivor comes out because I'm gonna watch because I used to love it. And I told you Survivor coming out and you said I don't give a fuck.
Is that what I said? My fault,
I
my
think
fault,
you
my
said I
fault, my
get
fault.
no fucks or some shit like that.
My fault, my fault, my fault, my fault. What else you got?
Go, growing up as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
occupation. You always had to fill out what I'm gonna be when I grow up.
Yeah. For a while, I had president on there for a really long time. And I knew you were gonna laugh. I knew you were gonna laugh. Like I knew you were gonna laugh. But yeah, for the longest, I had president. But I can still get
You
there.
know
What
the
do you have to be
stories
like
of like
35? So what's up?
the athletes are like, yeah, my teachers never believed in me. They told me
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. They
Yeah.
looking now and seeing, oh, Herlins wants to be the president.
It's like,
He
yeah,
got
you
no
can do
fucking chance.
it. And then I said it. I said it so much so where my dad started calling me president when I was younger and he was still around. Started calling me president. And like it's like, oh, when you go to your dad's cousin's house or whatever, you don't know the person or whoever it is, and you're there into your dad's. You don't know this guy. This guy, he changed your diaper, and it was always that. And he's like, yeah, he always introduced me. This is gonna be the president one day. He's gonna be a president. And it was always the most embarrassing thing. Cause like, come on, man, I'm not gonna be no fucking president. But yeah, and he never let that go for a while. But after I moved off of the president stuff, I think when I was younger, I probably put down police officer too. That was just me being young. You see the officer, it's like they're protecting everybody, every kid. I feel like, cause thought about that once. But then when I actually started getting older, maybe like middle school, high school, and I just wasn't on some bullshit president stuff. Um, for a while, I put Steve. I don't have my wallet. If I have my wallet on here in high school, and I might go grab my wallet just to see the date on this because I know it's like 7 years old now. In high school, or maybe like 6 years in high school, I was in gym class, and it's not like they gave us the thing, the paper and occupation, but I was in gym class, and I didn't like my school, like I said, it was a school of the arts. We didn't have like sports teams or anything, so we didn't have really we didn't have a basketball court where it's like, all right, we're playing basketball today. So we went to like a private park to do all of our like gym stuff. Like we took a bus to a private park. So it was like raining that day, so it was like we couldn't go, so we were just inside the building that day, and we was just like, you just do whatever on phone, whatever. I wrote a note to Stephen A. Smith, Molly, and at that time Max Kellerman was still on First Take. And that's when I wanted to be a sports analyst. And I really want to go to my car and grab my wallet just to see what the date on that was. But I look back on it like every 8 months to a year, and it's like the paper is like it's all ripped and stuff on the seams because it's that old, and the pencil's like fading away, so you can't read some of the words. But that's one thing I wanted to work in sports and be a sports analyst. So I wrote that letter to him in First Take. I still have it. Maybe I'll fucking just post it and tweet it out and at him. Maybe he fucking responds or something. But I carried it in my wallet every day. I've carried it in my wallet every day since I wrote it. That letter to Stephen A. Smith. So that's one thing I wanted to be sports. I'm gonna go grab it. I'm gonna go grab it. BRB. I'm gonna read it. I'll grab it and read it because I don't remember anything I put in it. I'll be right back. This paper is fucking worn out. Look, there's literally a hole in it. That's how long it's been. Okay, the date is August 17th, 2018. So are we in 2025? A little over, what is that? A little over 6
Almost
years?
7.
6.5 years? Yeah. I'll just read out the part. So I was like, yeah, it's Dear First Take to Max, Molly, and Stephen A. Hi, my name is Herlins Pierre. I'm 16. I wrote this when I was 16. I'm 23 now. I'm 16, turning 17 October 30th. I'm not going to dox myself. I attend, not going to dox myself. I watch your show every day after school. I don't care what anyone else in the house is watching because bro, it's hard to read this because it's all fucking like faded. As soon as I get home, I'm grabbing the remote, even though it isn't live. Even though it isn't live and I don't get to vote on certain topics, I still love watching. First Take is my favorite TV show, not favorite sports TV show, but TV shows in general. Then I did paragraphs to each person on the show. Like I said, I'll just read Stephen A's part. Stephen A. Smith, you are my favorite on the show. You are such an inspiration to me and many other people in the world. At a point, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got older. Being a junior in high school, I should know. One day I asked myself, what the hell do you want to do with your life? I looked up at the TV and saw you, and at that point I knew. So yeah, I wanted to be in sports analyst, and that at that point I wanted to bro, what the fuck does this say? At that point I knew I wanted to be a sports analyst, and that is because of you. I want to be just like you. I thought about actually playing the sports, but I'd rather just talk about them. If I could be half as good as you are, my life would be accomplished. The only thing left to say is thank you, my hero, Stephen A. Smith. That's the paragraph I wrote to him in high school. Like I said, the paper's all ripped. August. Can you see the date on there? Where's the date?
Can't see any writing on there. It's just yeah, there you go.
August 17th, 2018. So shout outs to you, Stephen A. Smith. If you see this, maybe you want this letter, you frame it up in your house. I wrote this to you August 17th, 2018, and I still carry it in my wallet every single day. And he's seeing this clip looking like, what the fuck is this guy showing me? It's a blank sheet of paper. But yeah, there you go.
A blank sheet of paper. I'm about to just show a piece of paper that has nothing on it. Dan Orlovsky, I've wanted to be you since I was 12.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That's the last time I was like, I actually wanted to, like, where it was like, okay, yeah, that's what I want to be when I was younger. What about you?
So 16, 7. So were you on Through the Wire right away?
Pretty much. Because I would be like during lunch, I would be watching First Take, and that's when I was super heavy on sports sport, like daytime talk show or sports shows like ESPN and all that. So during high school, like I would be watching it all during lunch, but then it's like it kind of faded away because of Through the Wire. Like that's what kind of made me like just drift away. And I wish I remembered the very first like episode I watched, but I don't. And I don't think I was there, like, because I obviously, everybody's goes, I was there when they were that first episode. They were in that random room at that table. They had the thing in the middle, but I don't think I was there, but probably just a bit afterwards. But I don't have an exact date, obviously, but I was there from, I would say, pretty early on. Pretty early on.
So you were listening before they went to visual?
Visual, yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Last one. What is your current wallpaper?
Me and my mom.
All right, you don't have. Okay.
I don't mind. Me and my mom. This.
You change it often?
No. Because before this, I changed it, but it was me and my mom still, and I just changed it to this, an updated picture of me and my mom. This was on my birthday, but yeah, no, I don't change my wallpaper often at all. I used to be a big Niners are my wallpaper, but for the past like 2-3 years, it's been like a picture of me and my mom.
Cool. I should do that. All right, we can get in to the world wide wrestling waffle.
Hell yeah.
Rey Mysterio lost tonight. All right, y'all have a good one. We will see you on Friday. So we talking about SmackDown?
We can. SmackDown's been decent. Holy shit. Never mind. We'll start with Monday Night Raw.
Does Jay just get to open every show now?
That's what it seems like at this point. And I understand why he was there, because obviously he won the Royal Rumble, and he's going to talk to Cody. But that's what it seems like, and I don't blame them, because he's going to get the fucking crowd pumped early. And it's like, if that's the first time somebody's watching, it's like, obviously you want the biggest pop, you want them to be hooked. They're just watching a bunch of 10,000 people just put their arms up and down. So I don't blame them for having Jay start it at all.
But that's 3 shows in a row now, both Raws and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Jay starts. He's out there talking.
So you had all this written down about SmackDown and was still like, should we talk about it? Like, you don't want to talk about it that bad, huh?
No, we can talk about it. But Jay tells him he hasn't really decided yet, and Cody tells him he's walking out a winner regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And then them 2 bastards come out and they interrupt the show and they're blah blah blah. They don't ever say anything. I
love them together without away from Solo and all the bloodline. Them Jacob and Tama Tonga together, I really like.
They don't ever say anything of value. They're both just some hoes.
All right.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Jacob Fatu is brilliant, and Tama Tonga without Solo has been really good, as you said. But they set it up, and it made it pretty clear that they were going to do it.
You already knew. You already knew. Right? You already knew.
Yeah. Next match, we get Bianca and Chelsea Green's little homie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Piper Niven fan.
She's pretty decent in the ring, to be honest. But I skipped right past this match because I was like, "There's no way they have Bianca Belair lose to Piper Niven." So I skipped to the end, seen Bianca do the KOD tour, and that was about it.
They just make Bianca do it like she's never gonna win on one finisher. If it's Piper Niven, you gotta do like 3 finishers on her before she's actually gonna be out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that wasn't a very good one. And then DIY Generation X, she was out there, and they go out there and they're just gloating that they won at the Rumble and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And outcome pretty deadly. And they get an instant match for whatever reason. Yes, boy! If they didn't suck, Yes, boy would be huge.
I fuck with them.
But they get it like an instant match.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, I don't know. And then the fact that they win, kind of lame to me.
If they won, they get a title shot, and they ended up winning. Which I thought they were going to win since they added the stipulation of a title shot. I figured they would find a way to win. But I thought it would be maybe like some different tactics, or they cheated. I guess they did cheat because he was grabbing the rope. But I thought it'd be maybe they hit somebody with the chair, or some weapon gets involved. But no, they just won the match. So I wasn't surprised because they added that stipulation. If they win, they get the title match. I figured they would probably win at that point.
I just don't like that that's how.
Yeah, just to have your tag team champions losing like that is a little odd, but I figured they would lose right there.
You got the triple threat and Jimmy Uso on the microphone.
Was really
Not
good.
many better than him.
Bro, he was
Yeah.
really good on the mic. He definitely was. And Drew had a nice line too where he was talking about like if you would have said Yeet first, he talked about that. Then he accidentally called them Jay. It was a really good segment between the three of them. But yeah, Jimmy was definitely the star of that segment.
Accidentally called him Jay as if they look literally anything alike anymore.
Literally nothing alike. Nothing alike. Maybe 10 years ago, sure, but they look nothing alike anymore.
And you already mentioned LA Knight having his little speech,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that he was where Jey Uso is right now. He was the most over in the company for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and like he still is over, but he comes out and it's just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. But he would hit his LA Knight, and the whole crowd would say yeah
For
with him,
sure.
and he's just kind of a mid carder again.
Yeah, I see people comparing the two. It's like Jey Uso's getting this push when he's over, but where was LA Knight's push or whatever? But I like LA
He was
Knight got
champ.
that he got a title match against Roman super early on when first started getting like the fans got behind him. I think he got his title match way too early. That's what kind of derailed him, to be honest. He got it way too early. And in terms of him winning the Rumble, it just wasn't as good of a situation as it was for Jay to win it this year. Like last year, it was Cody's story that was everybody knew Cody was gonna win it and go to face Roman again. So there was just no shot LA Knight would win it. So I guess it just made more sense that Jay would win it this year versus LA Knight winning it last year.
And the next one, and Drew McIntyre won that, by the way.
Mm-hmm. On a
Next one
nice
was Match of
finish,
the
nice
Night.
finish.
I love Drew McIntyre. I think he's
I
such a
do,
good wrestler.
I do, bro. I love him so much.
And I just like I think he's great in ring, but he's also great out of the ring
Yeah,
too.
on the mic,
When
absolutely.
when when he was fighting, I think it was Seth, and he tweeted out bored at work or
Exactly, like
whatever.
shit like that. He's just so good, bro. He's so good. His character work over the past year and a half, 2 years, his development has been phenomenal.
We get Carmelo Hayes and Akira Tozawa.
Match of the night.
For what reason? Who
And
knows?
and when Carmelo Hayes went up to Nick Aldis and was saying, hey, I need to do something, number one overall draft pick, elimination chamber, all this, and he's like, I got something for you. I was already knowing it was gonna be Tozawa, and I was like, are we serious, bro? This what we're doing with Carmelo Hayes. It's like he had that great series with Andrade. And he looked like him and Andrade were gonna be in the U.S. title picture. Now you have Shinsuke holding that belt, doing a whole lot of nothing, just in the background of these random fucking backstage promos and shit. He just standing in the background, and like just to see Carmelo Hayes on this bullshit, just losing a bunch of times, and then when he wins, it's against fucking Tozawa, and it's not like he just whooped Tozawa's ass. It was a back and forth match. So I really am interested to see what they do with Carmelo Hayes. I hope he doesn't get fumbled. Not that I think they will, but I just hope to see something in
Carmelo
that
gonna be
match.
the next Blair Davenport.
Man, and as someone that goes to like I went to NXT a pretty decent bit, and to know who Blair Davenport is, it's just like, bro, like why even call somebody up if you don't have anything ready for them? It just doesn't make any sense. They did it with Dijak, and he's so good, and they called him up and did nothing with him. It doesn't make any sense. You call them up for them to do nothing, and then you fire them because they did nothing when you could have just left them in NXT. But
Then we get KO in his car.
mm-hmm.
And I love KO, dude. I think that him talking there's not much better in the WWE.
Mm-hmm. Especially right now
And
with his character.
He's blaming Sammy for damn near everything. He's like, you came out there and you didn't help me at all. You just stood there and watched the entire time. And we were streaming. We were like,
We
why is
said
Sammy even
this
out there? He's just
literally.
watching.
Even if he wasn't gonna help him, fucking help Cody, do something. And we talked about this, and KO. That's why I like this character so much, because like he's not just the heel that's just the bad guy to be the bad guy. There's reasons to his actions. It's like, yeah, I did what I did to Sammy because he wasn't there for me, didn't help me. I did what I did to Cody because he teamed up with Roman, who's made everybody's life a living hell for the past 4 years. So like there's reasons to his actions, and still you shouldn't fucking pile driver the guy. But there's just, it's not like he's just doing it just for the fuck of it. There's reasons, and he's justified in his actions. So I really fuck with KO's character right
I
now.
like the part where he continued on and he was like, you wouldn't help me no matter what. And then you go into the Rumble and you see Roman getting beat up and you save him
Yeah,
immediately.
sprinted to the ring to go help him. Yeah.
Then we get Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
and she's awesome. She hits the Sister Abigail. So
DDT, yeah, it was beautiful.
I'm sure we'll get her and the Wyatts
I
very soon.
hope not, because I saw the glitches during the match. I hope not, because I guess the Wyatt Six needs her, but she does not need the Wyatt Six. She could be so much of a star, just being a singles competitor. But it's like the Wyatt Six, they've lost so much steam. I guess they need somebody of Alexa Bliss's like stature, I guess, to get them back in the good graces of the crowd. But it's just they've lost so much steam for me to where I don't even want to see Alexa Bliss go over there, and then it just still doesn't work, and then now she's just thrown to the wayside and just wasted.
Because their storylines are great, but they can't wrestle. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like at the end of the day, I don't know what you're gonna do with it. And not seeing any of them in either Rumble, that
Mm-hmm.
was surprising to me. I didn't think we would see
Yeah.
Uncle Howdy, but I thought we were gonna see Nikki Cross for sure.
And then like around the Halloween time, they were literally MIA. They were gone for like a month around Halloween, and for them to be a spooky, scary group and do nothing during Halloween, like NXT has a Halloween pay per view, Halloween Havoc, and they weren't there. It's just so many just times where they just dropped the ball. They haven't had a single match. All their feuds they've had haven't had a single match on a pay per view. It's just like they've just dropped the ball with the Wyatt Six. It was a cool at the start. You know, they had a really good debut, but it just hasn't hit the same since.
Them with Chad was great.
I
Pretty
liked it
much
a lot.
everything after.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Jay and Cody against Tama and Jacob Fatu. As we said, it was pretty obvious that they were setting this up.
Breaking news halfway through the show: the main event is gonna be main event Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes take. Like we already knew. We already knew.
And once again, we already knew that Fatu and Tama Tonga weren't going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But Solo coming back in that manner, surprising to me because WrestleMania is right around the corner.
Literally. Yeah.
So where do they go from here?
Dog, bro, it was just so shot, and it's one. There's a couple different things, like you said. WrestleMania is right around the corner, so it's like, what the fuck is Cody doing? Is he taking Solo all the way to Mania? He's gonna have to feud with this guy that wins the Elimination Chamber. So it's like, are we gonna do Cody and Solo again at Chamber? It's like, what are we doing here? And then also, it's like, can we get Cody away from the fucking bloodline? Like the second he has this amazing feud with Kevin Owens. And it's like, all right, the second that's over, we got nothing else. You're right back to the bloodline, Cody. It's like, what the fuck? Like right before he feuded with KO, he was feuding with Solo. It's like, dog, can he get out of this bloodline loop? It's just like there's a few guys that I feel like are just stuck in the bloodline loop. KO got out of it. Cody's still stuck in it. It felt like LA Knight was stuck in it for a while. It just feels like this bloodline like loop and cycle is just weird. Like, and the way like Solo lost to Roman and like they've done nothing with that, but he just comes back and hits Cody. It's like, what are we doing here? I just don't see what they're trying to do, and I just can't get behind Cody going against Solo again and still dealing with the bloodline. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan.
There's just not enough heels on SmackDown to compete with them.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Drew is on Raw.
No,
Punk
he
is
got
on
switched to
Raw.
SmackDown. Drew got switched to
He
SmackDown
did just
officially.
get, so he'll probably feud with Cody here soon.
I hope so. I hope so. I wouldn't be mad if that was the
But
Mania match,
Drew,
but I don't think it will
I would
be.
because I would be mad because they won't give Drew the win, and I'm tired of seeing him lose.
I wouldn't be so sure to say that they wouldn't give Drew the win. Because Drew deserves a title. He does really well when his character loses. It feels like he does an even better job because that's kind of what his character is. He just blames everybody else and has a reason he's complaining. But I definitely think for the work he's done, he definitely deserves a title. So I wouldn't be surprised if they put one on him. But he won the Elimination Chamber last year to go and face Seth at Mania last year and beat Seth. But I just don't know if he'll win it again this year.
We got reported that Sonya Deville was cut, which that one surprised me because
Surprising, yeah.
she was the best in that little lesbian group.
Zoe Stark.
The authors,
I think Zoe Stark is special. Zoe Stark is gonna be a world champion one day. She is. She has a
I
lot of
think Zoe
botches,
Stark
but
can be better.
yeah, she has a lot of botches, but I think she's gonna be a star one day.
If, they're both better than Little Wrestler though. I'm not a.
What was so surprising is like she was just in the fucking Rumble. They had a decent little like they were in there doing their thing, all three of them in the Rumble together, and just for her to get released was kind of odd. It was just weird to see. So I wonder what they're gonna do with that whole little group. Yeah.
They just cut them. Zoe Stark gets her own push. Maybe Trish Stratus is back, so
Maybe.
Ish.
Maybe.
I hated that period 4. The Authors of Pain got cut. Not surprising.
Yeah.
Karrion Cross really hasn't done much with them for a while. He'd
Mhm.
just be a little evil
And yeah,
genie on your
I'm
shoulder.
glad Carrion is still there. That they didn't release Carrion. They just released everybody around him and kept Carrion because Carrion's been doing some decent work these past couple of. I've been a guy that's kind of been a lot more high on Carrion than a lot of people are because a lot of people have hated him in the Final Testament, and he's been doing I think some of his best work as of recently. So I don't think he really needs the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering anymore. I think he can just do that shit on his own.
And Cedric Alexander got cut, and he's been there for a long ass time, so that one kind of sucks. Then we get the Monday Night Raw.
Isla Dawn was cut too. I'm gonna miss her. She's beautiful.
No.
Yeah. Like the witches, Isla Dawn. Yeah, bro. She is. Yeah,
Is she the ginger one?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Oh, Santos Escobar's girl got released too. Electra Lopez, Legato, she got released too. But yeah, that Isla Dawn one hit me right here in the heart, man. It hit me, man.
Bro, if you want, how you gonna cut her and Indy?
And that, bro, the Indy one was because Indy, I was at NXT seeing Indy as the NXT champion, and I was so pissed when they released her. Indy is gonna be special one day. She's gonna be a star one day. But yeah, Isla
Dawn is fine
as hell.
I love me a good ginger
like,
too.
She is bad. But let's get
why'd they keep Alba Fire then?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they got something a singles push in mind for her. I'm not sure. No.
Jey Uso starts again.
Mm-hmm.
Not a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he out there getting ready to celebrate or call out Gunther or whatever, and he gets attacked from behind the thing. Michael Cole going, "Jey, watch out!" And you can't even see it. The camera's just shooting at the fucking sky.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jey gets his ass whooped for a while. Gunther gets carried out. He goes, "Gunther, hold on. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but I choose you."
We figured it was gonna happen. He was not picking no fucking Cody Rhodes, but yeah.
And there's just no way that they make Jey lose again.
No way. And do I expect this to be the main event of either night one? Well, it's definitely not gonna be night 2. But do I expect this to be the main event of night 1? I don't think so. But yeah, I definitely expect Jey better win. Jey better win, or else all the people that fucking hated on this are gonna be hating even more. Because you have Jey win when all these other people could have win just for him to lose. So yeah, Jey better win at Mania. It'll be a good time when he wins too. And we always talked about how they always push the line with the fucking yeet stuff on SmackDown when like R-Truth saw Jey back there and he was like, Tozawa, I gotta go help Tozawa. He just yeeted all over himself. It's like, dog, come on. And they did it again today. I forget what they said.
Oh, it was bad today.
Today, yes. I forget what they said, but there was a point where I was like, whoa, hold on. I think like was it like our tables covered in yeet or something like that.
He said erectile at some point.
Yes, Michael Cole said yes. I'm suffering. I've got a dysfunction, a yeet dysfunction, something like that. And I was like, bro, what are we doing here? It's going too far, bro. They gotta cut it, ease it back, bro. Ease it back, please.
Then we get Damage Control versus Raquel and Liv. Raquel and Liv don't have a name other than Judgment Day, right?
Yes, and when they came out, I was so like just hearing like I already knew it's like representing the Judgment. I'm so tired of them representing the Judgment Day. I'm over the Judgment Day, bro. Literally, when they were making their entrance and it was like representing the I was so like, oh my gosh, bro. I'm tired of the Judgment Day. That just needs to disband, especially with JD out now. Just disband. Liv and Raquel and Dom go do your own thing. Finn, go do your own thing. I'm over the Judgment Day. Ever since they lost Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, it hasn't been good. But
not Judgment Day. Damage Control.
Our girl was back. Boy, it seemed like she fucking she making a return every other week because she just hurt so much, man. And I hate that for her. Because she can do some work in the ring, but every other fucking month she's hurt, making a return again. So hopefully she can stay healthy. I love
Dakota Kai so much.
I do too. And this was such a good match. Such a good match. Everybody showed their ass, bro. This was an amazing match. They put on a show.
This was a match of one fine-ass woman with their scary little partner.
There was only one fine woman?
On both sides. I'm saying
Oh,
both sides had one fine ass
I see what you're
woman,
saying. I see. Okay. Yeah. And you have Liv Morgan got a gash on her fucking
big ass
face. Yeah, and
cash.
then her whole face was bloodied. Yeah, this was such a good match, man. I had a lot of fun watching this
She
match.
she posted it on Instagram, and like it's a deep gash too.
Yeah.
And the caption was, "Daddy Dom
Dom
still
still,
thinks I'm cute."
yep, yeah, and he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. He was not lying.
But when you streamed,
Mhm.
I was a little bit of a hater, just a little bit
Mhm.
towards the Sky,
Mhm.
just a little tiny bit though. And man, she showed her ass in this match. She was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. You're the same as my brother. My brother has gotten back into wrestling maybe last year. Last year Mania was his first Mania in like 12 years he's watched. Because I was telling him, there's a really good product right now. This is the time if you ever gonna come back now. And at the start, he was like, "Who the fuck is this Io Sky girl? Like, who is this?" And over time, he's gone to love her and love her and love her even more. And she's one of his favorites now. Like, Io Sky is so good. And I know you always say Bianca Belair, but I firmly believe Io Sky's the best women's wrestler on the roster, if not on the planet. She is so good. She's so good. Well, let me not say on the planet because obviously I'm not watching AEW or TNA, but she on the roster, I really think she is. She's so good.
But is she the biggest, the baddest, the fastest, the strongest, the toughest?
She's not the EST, I'll tell you that, but she's Io Sky.
You see Bianca and Montez both get a little dolled up and go on that little date night.
Yes, I did. I actually just saw it. Yeah, before I went to work. Yeah, and she did like a
Well,
little
that's
get
a
ready.
fine
Yeah.
ass couple.
Like I was looking at, and Montez is a good looking dude. He is, yeah. And I was looking at Bianca like, damn, Montez, you're a lucky guy. You are a lucky guy, man, because she
Is it going to
is
be my
bad.
turn?
She is bad, man. Shout out to you, Montez.
But Damage Control pulled out that win.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bailey walks out with her little basketball because she's in the game on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
At this point,
I
I
didn't
make a
watch this
mistake.
match. Mm-hmm.
I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I was wearing my headphones. So yeah, I'm just move this chair over and lay in bed, watch on my
God.
monitor.
So neither of us saw this.
I went back and watched everything I
Okay,
missed.
I saw the beginning of this match. Then I had to lock in at work. I had to take my AirPod out and focus up.
Before they started, but Bailey posted up next to George Kittle.
Shout out to George Kittle
So
being
that
there.
was cool.
Yeah, they like besties.
Roxanne Perez was ringside. I think she's better than Lyra Valkyria already, but
Roxanne Perez, yeah, she's like that.
Bailey won. She like flung Lyra Valkyria's head against the turnpike, whatever you call it.
Turnpike.
When she pins her, it's the last thing I saw. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the last thing I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waking up to, oh,
to what?
They're just screaming, RKO.
RKO. What? Where did you wake up at?
The very end. So Logan and Ray.
All right.
So I had to go back and watch all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would have slept through it. I'm glad I had my headphones on because they were screaming for that Logan and Ray match. And it was a really good match. But after Bailey and Lyra, we got the little Seth and Finn feud. And if that actually happens again, cool. They were good their first time.
Not cool. Finn Balor in 2025 can miss me. His ass is losing next week.
He's so good, though, dog. He's so good. They just did him dirty.
He is losing next week. I'm not even. Especially with this whole, if we listen to Finn, we win the Judgment Day shit. I hate that so much. Like, so I'm Finn Balor. They got a lot of work to do before I can get behind him again.
The formerly known as Viking Raiders, which is now the War Raiders. They lost their tag champions to American Made. Or did they just win?
They won by DQ. This match upset me because it was a very good match.
They lost?
No, the War Raiders won.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you probably saw them holding the belts at the end, huh?
Yeah.
They had attacked them with the belts and then hung it up and put it up. That's why I was so pissed because this match was so good, back and forth. It was great action. And then the fucking American made fucking the Creed brothers just fucking took the belts and hit the War Raiders with it. I was like, what the fuck? We just ruined a good match just to some DQ for nothing. I was pissed at this, and then they just they held up the belts at the end. I don't know why they did that. It was a really good match.
That makes more sense though, because we don't ever see a title change in just a normal Raw
in the middle
anymore.
Of the show, yeah, it'd probably be at the main event. Yeah, if you're gonna see the title change, yeah.
And then we go to your favorite part of the Judgment Day in the backstage. You know, Liv laying across Raquel and
should have been me.
You wanted to be laying across Raquel and
No, man, you know what I mean.
But Dom was like, maybe we need a new or maybe we need a new Judgment Day member because JD out,
yeah.
And blah blah blah. That segment sucked. Io wants Rhea.
Yeah, and like Io and Rhea should be a WrestleMania match. So the fact that they're the fucking Raw after the Elimination Chamber, that's not no fucking big deal. Like, that's not Raw after WrestleMania. Raw after WrestleMania, everybody knows that's like the biggest Raw of the year. That's like a big show. But the Raw after WrestleMania, it was so weird. Yeah, I'll see you in 3 weeks. I'm like, at first I was like 3 weeks. You know, the Elimination Chamber is in 2 weeks, so it's like, why is it 3 weeks? It's like, yeah, 3 weeks at the Raw after the Elimination, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are we doing it there? That it's just so weird. It doesn't make any sense. Like Io and Rhea, that this tells me that obviously Io isn't the plan for the Rumble or for Mania because Io, like I was so confused when they had Io and Liv go against each other last week for the Elimination Chamber spot because I expected both of them to be in it. And then when Io lost, I was like,
you talked about that.
Yeah, and when Io's lost, I was like, okay, maybe there's gonna be like some second chance losers bracket, or like all the losers are in a match, and then Io's gonna win and get into the chamber. But that tells me that's not happening anymore because they're doing Io and Rhea the Monday Night Raw after the Elimination Chamber. So I wonder what Rhea's opponent is gonna be at Mania because I really thought that was gonna be the Mania match. I'm really just disappointed with what they're doing with Io Sky. She's too good to just be like just dicking around and doing all this weird shit because I don't expect her to beat Rhea that close to WrestleMania. It's not gonna make any sense. So I don't know. Maybe we get a heel turn or something and it turns into a triple threat at WrestleMania. I really don't know, but it's not a fan of what they're doing with Io Sky right now.
Then we get my boy. Oh, you can't even hear me. I was too loud for it to come through the mic. But you know, his theme comes out and he does the and if you tell
if you just tell CM Punk. CM Punk was out there first, then Logan came out. Just fuck Punk.
I forgot about Punk.
And you said you were becoming a Punk fan.
We'll talk about him.
But yeah, CM Punk comes out, says, you know, I talked a lot, probably talked a little too much, saying I was gonna win the Rumble, but then he talks about, you know, I'm gonna win the Elimination Chamber. He talked about how John Cena declared his spot. And he was like, you know, I was angry. He was like, I was angry at first, but I've gotten over that. Then he talked about Drew being in there as well, and he was like, whoever's in there, I'm gonna beat them. John Cena, you're gonna be able to see me or something like that. And then he's like, I'm gonna win the Rumble, and his name is CM, and he had this crowd say Punk, and then right then that's when Logan's music hit. And go ahead, your guy.
Both my guys. I love Ray too, and Ray holding Logan was in the corner at one point towards the end of this match, and Ray like picked him up, and it kind of caught me off guard because you don't really see Ray doing that much in his old age, but this was a really good match for a random Raw.
It was.
And he hits his little, you know, metal hand or whatever they call it.
The one lucky punch.
And Michael Cole goes, the one lucky punch. He just got pulverized or something.
Pulverized. That was kind of decent. I kind of liked it.
And that was decent, but then the fact that Pat McAfee was just glazing the shit out of it. It was like, pulverized. Oh my gosh, you got pulverized. That was awesome.
I love Pat McAfee, but he'd be a little over the top too sometimes. He just goes a little extra sometimes. But that's what makes him Pat McAfee. So I fuck with it still.
Was that the best match of the episode?
I think the tag match was there was a lot of good matches on this. It was a day of good wrestling. I think the women's
by tag match you mean the women?
Yeah, the women. Yeah, the other one was really good too, but I think the women tag match was very good. Judgment Day versus Damage
It
Control.
was just a good ass episode.
It was. It definitely was. It definitely was. But yeah, I got
Not
EA.
one that you should have to go back and watch a second time, but
Things happen.
unfortunately,
Things happen. Things happen. Things happen. But yeah, we got
dude,
Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, good episode.
when his ass was screaming RKO, I woke up like petrified. Like, what the hell just happened?
Because you said you had your headset on, right? So it was just blasting in
Yeah,
your ears while you were sleeping. That makes sense. Yeah.
I was just wearing this, and I woke up. I was like, holy shit, what is going on?
Yeah, that was such a good match. Such a good match. But yeah, is that all we got?
No, because as the show is closing out,
Oh my god, that was some fucking bullshit. I completely forgot about that. That was some bullshit. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro. Completely forgot
there was
about that
like
shit.
4 seconds, and
Like, bro,
Kofi and Xavier just attack Ray again for no reason.
like,
Like, go ahead and tag.
and if you're gonna do that, it's like we're not Triple H, whoever's doing this WWE, we're not on fucking cable anymore. Y'all can go, y'all can keep going and let New Day attack them. It's not like we got fucking Law and Order coming on next at fucking 10 p.m. and we gotta cut off. There's nothing on after this. You can keep it going. So I don't get why they had New Day attack them and then just cut it off air literally like 3 seconds after they got into the ring. And what the fuck is New Day doing? Are they going after Tag Gold? Or they just it's Rey Mysterio only? Like, what's going on, bro? What is going
Yeah,
on
they
with the
just
New
don't
Day?
like Rey Mysterio for some
Like,
reason.
what is going on? And I get Ray was like, "Nah, you guys aren't allowed in the locker room as a locker room leader. We don't want you in there." But it's like, come on, dog. Like, can New Day go do something of value? Go after Tag Gold, something, please. Yeah,
Nope.
I'm just not sure what they're doing. Don't make much sense.
Well, that's all we got for our Monday night, Tuesday posted episode. Herlin said, yeah, we might have our new shortest episode ever. And I told him, I highly doubt it. And here we are at almost 2 hours once again.
We find a fucking way every time, but I promise you that is going to be changing as of late in the near future. Because if we find a way to go 2 hour every episode after this, I don't know what we're actually up here fucking just talking about a whole lot of nothing. But we appreciate you guys watching anyway. If you got up to this point, you know, it's much appreciated. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl, enjoy Super Bowl weekend. Yeah, things are probably, like I said in the beginning, things probably going to be changing a bit, but we'll let you guys know as things happen. But we appreciate you guys watching. Head over to the TikTok, drop a like, comment, sub if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Peace.
Love y'all.